So Eryka, today let's talk about something that one of our readers has asked us about, and that is the NFT Marketplace. And the question the reader was that they have seen people are selling lots of image NFTs and people are buying them for very high prices. And is this really happening? And if it is happening, what is the use of buying a simple image for such a huge price?
Yeah, NFTs are a little interesting, and really are the way that crypto is going to be mainstreamed, in my opinion. This is why you're seeing a lot of people who have never been involved in Bitcoin get involved in NFTs. The easiest way to think about an NFT is you think about a baseball card, right? It is rare, it's high value, and it has sentimental value for people that like baseball. And people will buy baseball cards for significant amounts of money. And it's because it is this physical card that represents something of value to them. Now, if I am going to show you a baseball card, like I don't know how much you know about baseball cards, but how could you tell me if this baseball card was real or if it was fake? Like there really is no way in the real world other than paying somebody else who is an expert to be able to tell you that that baseball card is real. So NFTs are a digital collectible, a digital version of baseball cards. Now, there's another couple things that are attached to them. NFTs have become status symbols. You're seeing everyone change their profile picture to their NFTs. You're seeing Twitter make it so that if you can verify that you own this particular NFT, they will make your profile picture like a hexagon instead of a circle, showing that you have ownership of this. NFTs really have just become this new age status symbol because what's happening is, you know, the old generation, if you're wealthy, you'll buy a Rolex, you'll buy a nice car, something like that. But right now with this new generation, what's happening, especially as people are increasingly flexing themselves online in an online environment, the flex is a little bit different. So I'll show you one of the most popular NFTs. I'm going to share my screen, okay. And then we can just talk about it. So some of the big platforms that are selling NFTs: OpenSea, Rarible, Nifty Gateway, Eternity is one that I like. It's a friend of mine. And then Create.Miami, I'm excited to talk about this one. So OpenSea is the largest NFT marketplace. They only allow you to use cryptocurrency, specifically Ethereum, to buy on their platform. And you look at stuff and it's, you know, pictures like this, but we can go to, and really, I mean, these are JPEGs. Some of them don't even have animation, but I'll go to stats, rankings, and we can see here the volume of the largest traded collection. So we'll go, like, you know, over the last 7 days, the aggregate of Bored Ape Yacht Club is up 256%. And when you look at stuff like this too, the floor price, so the least amount you can buy one of these Bored Apes for is 103 Ethereum. So if we do 103 Ethereum, that's 103 times, Ethereum's about $3,000 right now. So the floor price is about 300K for one of these, the least expensive one. But why are people buying these? Like the big ones are Bored Apes and CryptoPunks. But if I load Bored Apes and we look at it, I mean, these are the Bored Apes. There's nothing, I mean, there's no picture behind, I mean, there's no like animation behind it. They're just funky looking apes. Like, you know, art is subjective at the end of the day, right? But when we think about, like, let's say that, for example, you exist in the traditional art world, and this is where you make your money. And someone asks you, how do you value a piece of art? Why is this piece of art valued at $5,000? Why is it valued at $50,000? Why is a Monet millions of dollars? It's pretty subjective, right? And I would say that that same exact concept translates into this world of NFTs, of non-fungible tokens, of digital art. Except the difference is that it has this mixture, because you can't counterfeit it. Monet, if I give you a Monet, there's no way you can tell me if it's real or not unless you're some art expert or you pay an art expert to tell you that it is. Now, what's happening with Bored Apes is that if you own one of these Bored Apes and you have it in your wallet, what you can do is it gives you access to a specific chat room in Discord. And this Discord chat room reads your wallet and says, okay, this person does own this NFT, and it allows you to enter. Now, who else in the world owns these Bored Apes? it's Jay-Z, it's Eminem, it's Gary Vee, right? It's these big name celebrities that have purchased these as their own status symbols. And so what you are is you're in this room, they only made 10,000 of these apes, and you're in this room, this chat room with people who have at least $300,000 to burn on a digital piece of art, right? So it's become this new age status symbol, but also I would say kind of like a new age Soho house. Because in Soho House, you pay a certain amount, that the people there are a certain caliber of person when it comes to their finances, or they can at least afford to go to Soho House. And now, as everything's moving online, it's just different, a different way to represent that. So yes, these are spent, like people are spending a lot of Ethereum on these pieces of art, but it's just a new age status symbol. We think about how maybe the metaverse is going to tie into the world that we live into, and you can't have a real world Monet on your wall. You're going to have, oh, I bought a Bored Ape a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So this is OpenSea is the biggest, and it's pretty interesting. I would say, stats, rankings, this is my probably favorite place to look just to see which ones are trending. But some of these are just so random. But when we think about NFTs, we have to think about not just the picture, but you get a benefit with it. So I'll show you, what is it called? The costume shop. This is a girlfriend of mine. She lives in downtown Miami, and she runs the Ultra Angels. She runs the dancers for the music festival, one of the largest music festivals in the world. She has a costume shop in downtown Miami. And what she does is she sells these costumes. But if you buy the NFT, then she will give you the costume in the mail, and she'll mail it to you. But she gets to decide what is the benefit of these NFTs. Okay, we'll take this off the picture a little. Okay. But I mean, she gets to decide that that's the benefit that you get for purchasing this NFT. There's other NFTs that have that I've seen before that it's not even a cool picture, but what it does, it gives you early access to anything that's posted from this one particular individual. So when we think about NFTs, we think about there are benefits that you can provide to the owner of that NFT that are maybe a little bit harder to quantify in the real world. I'll show you. So here, this is, I think they have the Bored Apes on. Let's see. So this is Rarible. Rarible is a little bit, is very similar to to OpenSea, but you can use your credit card here. Nifty Gateway is, you have to be like a big name artist in order to get listed on Nifty Gateway. It's pretty, like you have to apply, and it's a whole process. I think they're a little bit more expensive in what they take out. Okay. Eternity Chain is really meant for, I would say, already famous people as well. You've got, they will license their actual baseball cards, and then you get benefits with it as that. Like Muhammad Ali did a drop on here. I think so did Shaquille O'Neal. So the answer to the question is yes, people are paying a lot of money for this, but the reason why is not just for the picture. The art really in itself is not as important as the benefits that are provided with that piece of art. There's a company that is called Gorilla Ape, and they have a Gorilla Ape NFT, and they work with the government of Bhutan. And every time you buy one of these, it gives donations to certain programs of the government of Bhutan, because the government of Bhutan has a happiness index that they use, which is pretty unique to that country. Also, it gives you a 3-night stay at a hotel in Costa Rica. So there's just certain benefits that you can have with this NFT that you really can't do with physical items and owning items in the physical world. The counterfeitability, the fact that it is nearly impossible to counterfeit, that's something that's another benefit as well, because you can't just sneak in like you could to like a Soho house or get in with your friend. You actually have to own it. Another benefit for the individual artist, and this is one of the things that makes me really excited for the art world, is that if I sell, let's say that I sell a piece of art, I put my picture up on OpenSea and it's sold. Every time that piece is resold, I automatically, because of smart contracts, get to participate in that resale. So, a Monet sells and it sells 5 different times, but the original artist doesn't get to participate in each one of these resales, only the first one. And so you're seeing this ability for artists to be able to monetize long-term off something that they created. And while it may be, just 2% of the piece, it's still something that is beneficial. You don't, you want to be able to incentivize the creatives, the idea of bored, of poor starving artists is something that needs to change. And now we have the technology for that to happen. Yeah, I would check out those websites. And if you're interested in making digital art or becoming a digital artist, there are a lot of ways you can do that very easily with your phone, just different apps.
And that's super interesting and something that I picked up on when you were talking, and I think is good for our audience, because I do have people that ask me, how do I get started an online business? How do I get started in the digital nomad life? Like, because I do think it's a good idea before you get started in that life to have a source of income coming in. So that's something I thought of when you were talking, is this is a possibility for someone to start a business online.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see artists nowadays and they can't really make money, right? And you see this Web 2 world where somebody may have 1 million followers online, but they're probably not able to monetize. Well, if they have 1 million followers, they probably have been able to monetize it. But you're seeing, let's say that you've been working for 5 years and you have 100,000 followers online. And what is that metric? It's really just a vanity metric. Your followers are just watching you, and data is more expensive than oil. So that exchange of value, right, is we're not, as the people that are providing that data, we're not the ones that are able to profit off of it. Facebook is, Instagram is. There's a reason why Facebook provides a free service, but is one of the top 5 companies in the United States traded right now. And it's because we're all providing data, but we're not participating in that. With NFTs, you're really seeing that sharing. You're going to see in the Web 2 world that it's followers. In the Web 3 world with NFTs, it's community. And the people that are in your community, the people that are in your Discord chat rooms, that if you are an artist, I would suggest making a Discord chat room and really learning Discord. I think that's super, super important to learn if you really want to get involved in NFTs, because that's where you're going to house your community. And then Discord has a lot of cool like plugins that allow you to do functions that just other chat services don't. But these people are now your community, and you're able to interact with them. You're able to give them certain benefits. You're able to do giveaways and, say, hey, if you buy my painting in the next 24 hours, then that means you get a 1-hour sit down with me. Whatever benefits an individual can offer and they're willing to offer, it just gives you that way to speak directly with your fans. And I'll show you one more thing that I think is super interesting. So you can see this Create Miami.
Yep.
So Create Miami is very cool because, with OpenSea, they opened in, let's say, August of 2018, and they've made, don't quote me, but it's either $30 million or $300 million in fees alone, right? And they've only opened in August of 2018. That's like less than 5 years ago. And they're netting that much. And what happens is that every single sale that happens, they get a portion of it. And I think when you mint on their platform, it might be like 6 or 7%. And then every sale afterwards, they get, I think, like 1 or 2%. Very, very minimal, but everybody's flocking to this. And when I think about, what's happening here with Create Miami, is this is one of the companies, it's called Tokenly. Now, what Tokenly does is they create white label marketplaces for people. So Create Miami is meant to help individual artists in the city of Miami, as well as individual galleries, be able to access this NFT world, get that global audience, and that commission, that fee, that 30 million, 300 million that goes to OpenSea instead will go to charities in Miami. It will go to something that fuels the community that the artists here want to fuel. So it's just pretty interesting because we're just really seeing this shift away from, just like Bitcoin, we took out these middlemen, these gatekeepers that get to monetize off everything and don't allow us to participate in what they're making. This is the same thing that's happening over and over again, but this time it's with art. And NFTs and art, this is the first, I would say, well-known use case of NFTs, but there are going to be so many more use cases of NFTs that are coming up because it is a digital transfer of ownership that is much harder to counterfeit than ownership in the real world. And also it allows the individual to be able to continually monetize and continually provide benefits and continually interact with those that are their fans. So I really love this new world that we're coming into.
It's super interesting, and the possibilities are absolutely endless. Thank you so much for showing us all this today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And yet, I guess just a quick wrap up, a few things that you said to finish off. I really liked your analogy with the baseball cards, because that makes it make sense.